it's thought for the day. I was just rearranging these crystals and getting them back on the shelf after a crystal class that I did. And, you just start thinking about things. Well, the thought that went through my mind was eventually the atoms that go to make up these crystals will be blown to the four winds. I mean, they last a very long time. These crystals are billions of years old. But even something as hard and as durable as these crystals will one day, and I'm talking distant future, one day our sun, the center of our solar system, will go supernova and engulf everything in our solar system, all the planets, everything on all those planets, the atoms that go to make up these crystals, the atoms that have gone to make up our physical bodies. They'll all be blown, whoosh, to the four winds. Now, atoms are atoms, they're building blocks, they're used and reused and then reused. And we know all this. This is just basic science. The atoms that go to make up your body one day will be used in another way. They'll go into the soil, they'll become atoms of soil, they'll become nutrients, and then they'll go on to be maybe other living things. Atoms are atoms, they're building blocks. But it's an interesting philosophy to really get your head around. It really opens your mind, because we know that within our closed system of the earth, we know that atoms are being recycled all the time. But think about it. Think about looking out across space. I mean, the universe is so old, you can't get your mind around it. It's incomprehensible to get your mind around it. And when we look out with Hubble Space Telescope and we look at nebula, the nebula clouds that we see radiating out from a central point are stars that have gone supernova and just scattered all those atoms into a smoke-like substance that is reaching out across millions of light years, eventually billions and trillions of light years. And those atoms become more and more spread out over space. And eventually those atoms will find another home. Eventually those atoms, a huge amount of atoms, if you think about all the atoms that go to make up the Earth and the planets in our solar system, and then all the atoms that go to make up the sun. Again, you can't really get your head around these things, but you can philosophize and start to go deeply into this subject. Imagine all those atoms from an entire solar system, the sun and the planets, all pushing out across space. Eventually those atoms start to regroup. Energy finds like for like is a term that we use a lot. The atoms regroup and start to form rocks. The rocks start to form other systems. Eventually you start to get so much matter and so much energy and gravity within that matter that you start to have fusion happening. That huge amount of gravity collapses the atoms in on itself. You have fusion, you have another sun, boom, another sun creates from the old atoms. There's nothing spent about the atoms. It doesn't matter that they're old. Atoms are as old as the universe. So these building blocks are reused. So what was a sun and a solar system eventually will regroup with other atoms and create another sun, which in time might create another solar system with other planets. And if you imagine the atoms that go to make up our sun and our earth and, yes, our bodies and all the things around us, you imagine that those atoms have gone to make up life out there in the cosmos, somewhere, at some point in the distant past. That's quite a thought, really. The atoms that go to make up your body now might have been the atoms that went to make up previous existences for you in other star systems far, far away. Now there's a thought for the day. That's a very cosmic thought, isn't it? Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have a great day, and I'll do more thoughts for the day because I think they're interesting things to do. It's just what pops into my head, and I just think I'd normally write it down, you know, ideas, but let's just do like a little video diary of ideas and share them with each other. That sounds good, doesn't it? Okay, I'll see you soon, and bye for now. Thanks for listening.